What's the current situation for you then over there?
The current situation is tough. The war is continuing. Russia is attacking now, concentrating on the eastern and southern parts of Ukraine. Now I'm in Odessa, which is my native city and my constituency region. But yesterday I was in Mykolaiv, which is a neighbor to Odessa, another port on Black Sea, and there are big fightings near Mykolaiv, and the city is shelled and bombed. We see that Putin is continuing the war and continuing to terrorize people by missile attacks, by bombings. And especially difficult situation, yes, the worst situation is in Mariupol, where Ukrainian fighters are continuing to fight and they refuse to surrender. And that is absolutely heroical. But what is the problem? That many civilians in the city, they don't have a possibility to leave the city, to save their lives, to come to safety. And Russia is just destroying and flattening the city and razing it to ruins, to the ground.
Mm. Explain to us what these movement passes are. We mentioned there that Russian troops are reportedly issuing these passes to those who remain in the city of Mariupol. Is this a true story? Because it does seem somewhat unlikely given the behavior of Russian troops so far.
Yeah, but they announced that yesterday they announced that they propose to Ukrainian fighters to lay down the weapons. But first of all, they don't want to. They are fighting, and they want to fight for our cities and land more. And it's absolutely something that I admire of. But also, we know the history of 2014. Because this war is lasting for more than 8 years already. But the last escalation before February 24 this year was in 2014-15. And in 2014, in Ilovaisk, which is in the eastern part of Ukraine, not far from Mariupol, by the way, there was also encirclement of Ukrainian forces, and Russian army proposed them a corridor to leave. They agreed to leave Ilovaisk, and after this they were shot down and shelled in this corridor, and a big number of Ukrainian soldiers and officers were killed absolutely by this barbarian act. So there is no any faith in Russians, in their word, and that is also one of the reasons why there are no any changes in Mariupol. So I think that what is the best option is that world by sanctions will make Russia to stop their operation at all in Ukraine and also in Mariupol. That will save thousands of lives, and that is the best solution.
Okay, and what do we expect Russia to do now? Are they regrouping? Are they going to try and attack key targets in the east? That's what we seem to be hearing over here.
Yes, they are regrouping. They are concentrating forces in east and south of Ukraine and planning to continue their attack and planning to continue this war and will continue destroying infrastructure and bombing the cities, trying to cause more humanitarian catastrophe. For example, in Mykolaiv, which I have been visited yesterday, for already 5 or 6 days there is no water because Russia destroyed centralized water supply system of Mykolaiv, and people, thousands of them, because Mykolaiv is a big city, 500,000 population before the invasion, now probably 300,000-400,000 people. They just need to stay in lines to receive some water. So it's a humanitarian catastrophe there. And that is Russian style of war. Humanitarian catastrophe, war crimes, devastations, terrorizing of the civilians.
Yeah, is there a real sense that the Russians are trying to starve you out?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Is there a real sense that the Russians are trying to starve the people into submission, to reduce the food supplies, to reduce water supplies?
Yeah, absolutely. They did it near Kiev. They attacked food stores, and they are attacking water supply. I mean, Mariupol people are already for 6 weeks without water supply, electricity, any connection, and so on. So yes, it's their way of making war. Absolutely barbarian, with the awful war crimes, using cassette bombs and things like this. So they don't have any red lines. So I think they should be punished for this, to show other countries that it is impossible to act this way. So more sanctions should be imposed on Russia. More weapons Ukraine should receive to stop this awful behavior.